Hey everyone, I'm back from Frosty Faustings, and to try to motivate myself to play BlazBlue a bit more, I thought it might be cool if I try and do some match analysis of my games. So we're going to go through each of these games, and I'm just going to talk about it, and we'll see what happens. I've never really done this before, so we'll see. We're starting off here with a Jin named Crisuki. I think I got a bye in the first round. I don't know if he actually had to play a guy. There were a lot of DQs. For the Jin matchup, I usually worry a little bit about his fireballs because Jin can make it kind of annoying for us to put down gravitons and fireballs of our own, though we can usually short hop them to get around them. It's not too bad. But eventually Jin will probably come in, and then the most things I'm worried about there are, is he going to be doing his cross-up jump-ins, stuff like that. But as long as I can keep him out, this isn't a matchup that I'm super worried about. So I'm feeling decently going into this, though I'm a little nervous. I haven't played in a tournament in a while. Round start, I always want to know, are you going to block 3C? It's kind of like a bad idea overall, but I always want to know. He jumps over it. I get hit low, I probably just miss 9B. And then he just jumps away from my graviton. Get knocked into the corner. He misses. I mash him out. I saw this 6D coming, so no. And you don't know to delete that either. Getting a lot of good information here. At this point, I am not particularly worried about him. I drop a combo there. Probably gonna have a lot. Yep, drop a combo there. I do get back confirm though, so that's cool. Yep, gets that cross up. He does not know Kokonoe, etc. He dies.
Level 2. Action.
Alright, this round I back up. Usually if I can get a graviton behind the opponent, especially with Jin, the classic, run in, overhead, and yeah, tournament nerds. I need to grind my inputs. This is pretty sick, but somehow the EA doesn't reach. It was a good call from my part though, so I don't feel bad about that. Spacing him out, he needed to microdash that 5C, and man, my aim is really bad. I have since modded my stick though, so this should get a lot better in the next few weeks as I actually practice with the new setup. He does actually avoid the bunker setup though. Yep, he gets into the low. I was quite trying to jump out. But then he drops his confirm. It's pretty good confirm here. Am I gonna DP? Yep, I'm gonna DP. He tries to bait it and just fails. I was trying to bait the burst here, so I didn't confirm the combo. And there's the switch. Pretty simple. If I hadn't dropped my combos, I think that this game would have been even more of a crushing win. The few times that I got hit were mostly from him just kind of him catching me, calling me out, or me trying to escape from pressure and him when he got in with the fast ice card. I don't know why I jumped forward, that was quite the call. But good air grab from him. You can see we're both going for the air grabs now. I'm being very aggressive because I don't respect his defense at all. A little too slow there. Playing the neutral. Ooh, get the big 6D hit. Do I go into... okay, just the conservative route. Ooh. Oh, that's... Alright, so what's happening here? So, I get the OG, so I don't fireball because I just want to go straight in. I guess I just wasn't expecting it to hit. Good DP from me here though. And missed that. He DPs me out of my throw. I interrupted the approach. This should be dead. No, I don't have meter. I could have EA'd for the kill, but that's definitely not necessary. This here was probably supposed to be an air dash instead of a second jump. And then I would, yeah, and I just do it later.
Level 2. Action.
Okay, back up from round start, much more conservative approach. We're just going to push him with lightning, he's going to get hit by the overhead. Again, If you don't show me that you're gonna OD for my overhead, I'm just gonna do this shit over and over. He does block everything here. Could I have done... Let's see, so I put the lightning out. Okay, so his rolling actually prevents me from crossing him up. Usually, if I just stand here... I don't get how this works, because sometimes when you stand still or put down lightning, it prevents people from rolling out, because they roll into you. Maybe because I fell backwards a little bit? Not sure. I could have micro-dashed the 2-2-C though. So he gets an air grab, I'm in the corner now. Alright, match the buttons. Second grab. Getting out. Don't run in 3C, just being patient. Oh, and then he gets himself hit by 5C. Yeah, I can't go to the corner, it's a little too far. Yeah, not getting that combo today. Ooh. Sometimes something in my brain just tells me, you should 2C right now. It's not always a good idea, and I couldn't tell you why I hit 2C there, but it definitely worked, and it kept me just... The good thing about 2C is that it keeps you low to the ground, and that lets you kind of low profile a lot of things. If I'd like jumped in at all, or got in real close to him, that 2C of his... We can see them spaced out a little bit, and I've crouched down when I do the 2C. So I just get under his GP, and in this case, it works out pretty well. Alright. So overall, honestly, this is not a very good game from me. I drop a lot of combos, there's a lot of misinputs, and I'm not really being very measured in my gameplay. There's a lot of me just running in, even though he's not pressuring me with fireballs, and he's giving me ample opportunity to put down my traps. I just kind of go in, and it doesn't really matter because Crisuki's defense is not particularly good. A better opponent would definitely punish me for this, which is probably why I did it in the first place, because I could tell that he wasn't going to defend very well. It didn't really matter too much what I did. Apparently, at this point, I felt like just going aggro and getting in his face. So not a great showing from me, but it is an easy win nonetheless. So we're going to move on into Game 2, which is against a Ragna named Jinsoku. Now, I don't know if I would say the Ragna matchup is bad for Kokonoe, but the Ragna matchup is bad for ScienceCat. I am terrible at fighting Ragna. It's a combination of things. I don't really like to get stuck in block strings for a while, and Ragna's 5B just, like, crushes the mid-range. How those are related is that I like to backdash a lot, which is, I do it too much. I should rein that in. But in a lot of situations, it'll seem like you'll get far enough away, and you'll backdash, and you'll actually backdash the first few active frames of 5B, but it's so long and it's so active that it catches the recovery. So between not having a meterless reversal and backdash getting constantly stuffed by 5B, we're kind of in a rough place where it's really hard to get out of block pressure from Ragna, and also it is really hard to block him just because he has his standing overhead and then he's got Gauntlet Hades. So it's hard to get out of blocks, and it's hard to block him in general. The matchup just makes me really uncomfortable. And so you'll see in this game that it doesn't go super well for me. I'm definitely feeling the tournament nerves at this point, and I know I'm going to have some bad inputs that will get me killed at some point, so this is going to be a bit of a rough one.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
I jump back, don't even try the 3C. It would have worked that time, though. Push him in. Alright, so we're showing that he's already better at blocking than Crisuki. And here we are. Not quite. So I get out of this dead spike here, but I still get caught by the 5D. So in this situation, I could have just stalled out in the air, and put a graviton out, which would have pulled him back enough and it would have given me a chance to block. And a chance to TP out. So we use a burst. He's stuck. He does block the overhead, but he does not OD it, so we're not very scared. He blocks the cross up too, but does not respect the plus frames when he gets hit. So now we both don't have a burst, but he's got me in the corner, but I push him out with barrier. That is too far away to confirm, except by 3C, so we just get a shit combo. I'm low on gravitons too, so I'm not feeling particularly good. And there's another thing, you know, 5B trades with the 2A, and he still gets to confirm. Yeah. I could tell I was going to DP there. I really need to hold on to that. It would be a lot better if I were to DP in block strings rather than on wake-ups, which is obviously much harder, but I lose a lot of DPs on wake-ups. Alright, so we're blocking each other in mid-screen. I block the Gauntlet Hades and get punished. Very nice. But I hit the B too early and I don't get the confirm. Whiffs, but the Graviton saves him. I don't think there's any way I can confirm that. Wackiness, pushing him away, gets towards the corner. That probably should have been a B lightning. Okay, get a big confirm. And drop it. At this point I can count how many combos I actually can. Okay. So in this case, we call out the 5B. We actually get the backdash. Oh no. Okay. So this is what happens when he 2A instead. Two-way whip, I punished with the 5B. If he just hit 5B instead of 2A there, he would have killed me. Alright, and we get the kill. Alright, much cleaner round. Though I can't really say that I deserve to win super hard because he should have 5B'd me out of that dead strike back there. Okay, still blocking. Good job. Stagger, he hits something, I get him to counter, get his burst. Alright. Back to mid-screen. Gotta block my shift. I could probably vary up my block strings a bit more because he's obviously not gonna be, he's not gonna be falling prey to my lows. Keep him at bay. That was a wild DP. Alright, hopefully I take an easy combo here. Yeah, because that's gonna happen. On the other hand, he hits the button way too fast. Yeah. I really struggle with that combo this whole weekend. Until I do some grinding on Saturday morning and it gets a little better. Again though, we get 2C confirmed. Just like on Crisuki. Crisuki? Who knows? So in this case, it trades with his 2B. It is actually one of the biggest pokes that we have. So we win the first round, or the first game. Again, combos looking very shaky. His defense is good, but he's also, when he's actually blocking. But when he's moving around, he's a bit too eager to hit buttons. He goes straight for that air grab when I punish him. Get a combo. Good one in the corner. What's the OP gonna be? Alright, it's gonna be the 2-2B side swap, but I need to micro dash that 2C if they barrier hit. Otherwise I don't actually get the side swap. Can't quite confirm that. That's just how it goes. There we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I really need to practice IBing that dead spike. Interesting. At least I burst him into the corner. Ah! Okay, so the weird thing here is I'm charging the 6A to get him in the air, to hit him out of his aerial. And then I hit the 5B is the normal confirm. The issue is that, depending on whether or not it's a counter hit or whether it's a grounded hit, I need to combo into the 5B at different times, and I just hit it too early there. I'm definitely hoping for a reset on that 6B. Okay. He gets it quick, you're gonna get a throw, you're dead, don't do a hard combo, yep. Kill him. That's one of the many reasons why you can't just quick rise or emergency tech versus Tommygun. So easy to grab you. I go for the overhead there because he's been blocking low really well, but he doesn't quite get pushed far enough. And again, I hit D too early. Drop the combo, get hit by Gauntlet Hades. Alright, getting up, and get hit by the meat. Alright, just blocking, block the overhead, do not tech the throw though. I remember being really surprised that this throw did not purple. So if he's going to do 60 IAD, it's because that last aerial of his actually whips, and I'm thinking that I blocked it. This is 60 IAD 5C. I think there's a JA or something, but it whips, and then he just grabs me, and I'm not ready for that. This is a situation where I could have just hit counter assault, or DP would have both been better options than doing nothing, but I die with 70 meter. I should have done a counter assault at some point. This is a dumb round start. I got nothing for that. Okay. Okay, I get hit. I don't know. Okay, go in. I expected him to back off for some reason. I don't know why he would. I really, when people are being that patient, I really should put out a fireball or do something a little bit more interesting. I go for the CDP, and it's just a little too far away. I want to say it's not a terrible idea, but I just should know the spacing. I wonder if there was an earlier shoot. Yeah. Especially because I'm barriering. When I'm on the defense like this, I really should try to decide whether I'm going for a DP punish or like a 2A mash out versus pushing him out and then jumping out, because in that situation, you see that I'm barriering. Get out, so that I put myself back in the corner. I could have just backed out there. Barrier. Yeah, I think if I hadn't barriered that 5B, certainly there would have been a better chance. Yeah, especially I think if those two had been IVs, then that probably hits. I'm not feeling too great here, so I take a sec. Both of us apparently aren't feeling too great, because we're both just hanging out on the rematch screen. And going into the next game.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1.
Overall, I'm being a little too antsy on the defensive end. I've gotten hit by a couple Gauntlet Hades, I've also blocked a couple. I don't feel too bad about that. We're going to get the OD punish here because otherwise there's no way to confirm this. It's not really a super great combo, but we might get a left-right off of it. No, we're just going for this. Put him in the corner. Probably get this grab, but he OD, so I just challenge it. Whatever, I don't care about getting EA. Put him in the corner, put down the lightning. Is that fireball? Nope, bait the DP. Okay. Block, but I missed the punish. Ooh, a little too scrambly to process what's actually going on. I need to get out of the corner. Yep. Okay, we're back out of the corner, back into neutral. Still not blocking anything. Oh, I finally get him with the pushback. And hopefully we can kill him here. We have active flow. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. And that should just do it. Frog HP. Yep. If that were someone like Susan, I would have had to go for an ice reset at that point, but Rog made me, he just died. Alright, we're up a game. Unfortunately, I know the result of this match already, so... Oh, wow, that was wild. I went for the throw, he just pulled sides over my head, we get a burst. So good. I could have confirmed that. We keep getting in with this JC, but unfortunately there's just no good confirm unless you have a guard crush or an OD. That should have been a JB to a J2C, so it's okay, we get a good throw, and we drop it. If we were a little bit closer to the corner, if you're a little bit closer to the corner when you do this route, you can actually confirm into 6B, 5C, 3C, 2A, but we're too far, and if you miss the 6B on that route, you get flat out punished, so that sucks. I probably should just hit 5C. There's the Punish on the backdash again, like I was talking about. I don't know what he's expecting as a DP. Yep, get the 5C punish on the backdash. He gets the nice rapid confirm. He drops it. I tech the throw. Good there. I do get the counter. Man, we are just swinging. Now, oh my god, if I don't... And then there's this. Oh man, this is just heartbreaking right here. I get this great hit, and then I drop the confirm. He's 100% dead. I have 100 meter and OD. And then he carnage scissors with 50. I try to barrier for some reason, and I hit Plink AB, and I die. And it's like, he doesn't even have the meter to RC this. This is stupid. He probably didn't even want this carnage scissors, to be honest. Unless he's like calling me out for DPing or something. But I am livid right now. I'm probably going to toss this round 3. I don't remember how I lose. I thought I died on the turn. In fact, he hits himself with lightning for once. I get to confirm here. Okay, I go for a little bit easy. Okay. Burst out. I finally accept that I'm dropping that combo and I do something different. I get a burst from it. Trying to bait stuff out. That's too gimmicky. I could have just waited or should have just pushed him in the corner. Now I'm blocking. Okay, we can get out now. But instead we try to intercept him. We still get out. Okay. I don't... Okay, it did work. Now hopefully I just blow this up. Nope. Alright, but we force him into blocking at least. I try to counter... Oh, there is no way I wanted that forward roll. But okay, we're still up. Push him in, he gets out. And I'm only at 2 gravitons now, so that's really... That makes me uncomfortable. I don't really know what I got in there. I block. I don't want to deal with the rapid, so I just countersault him out. Ooh, that was an awkward grab. God, I have no resources. This is so awkward. I'm probably just panicking internally at this point. I do go back in though, which is good. Sometimes when I panic, I just run away and die. Drops it. Oh, and then fucking 5B again. I think I'm baiting a DP there, but if I just gone in for a grab, I feel like I would have won this set, so maybe he would have gotten his first back. Okay. He counters me. What does he counter out of Graviton? I might have just tried to block. There's this weird thing with Gravitons where you can cancel Graviton recovery into almost any action. However, one of the few actions that you cannot cancel it into is Barrier. So if you try to Barrier immediately after a Graviton placement, you will just get A or B, and hence counter, which is probably what happened there. Because I don't know what else I would be hitting. If it were wheel, I would have seen the wheel come out. So overall in that matchup, I'm backdashing way too much. My combos are still shit, though at the end of the round, I at least start to acknowledge that, and I just start to place lightning at the end rather than dropping a combo. I get hit by a couple Gauntlet Hades, but I also block a few. I don't actually feel that bad about that. I do get grabbed a few times. Honestly, that match was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, looking back at it now. Mostly I'm just mad at my own inputs, because I completely had that in Game 2, or Game 3, Round 2, where I just didn't wheel at the end. That's an easy kill, 100%. I should have been out to next game and winners. And then when he does Carnage Scissors, and I just barrier and fuck up the barrier, that should have been an easy kill. So I'm like really mad at myself at this point. This was a really stupid loss. Not that Jinsoku was bad at all. He's very solid. He blocks very well. I think I only got him low a couple times in the whole set. Mostly I beat myself in this one. So my next game, I'm in losers now, and I'm waiting a while. There was a bit of a break. I cooled down a little bit. And then the next game, unfortunately, is a bit of a team kill. Tommygun did me the favor of beating a new 13 so that I face him instead of her. I don't necessarily think that new 13 is a bad matchup for Kokonoe, especially with the damage disparity between them. But new 13 is very weird. I don't like getting zoned. It's a way more volatile matchup versus, you know, a person who is in my locals that I play semi-often. Like, I know how Tommygun plays for the most part. So I'm feeling very comfortable going into this match, which is honestly, like, great for me. Like, I was really anxious and mad at myself after Jinsoku and in the earlier games. Going into Tommygun, it's someone that I've played before. 9 isn't a matchup that I'm super familiar with, but at least I'm feeling comfortable going into this one. So Tommygun, he just kind of runs away a little bit, whips the air-to-air, that should have been a down, and he bursts out. He's cornered, he's just kind of poking, but not poking in the right directions. I get him with a counter hit 5C, I do a decent combo, definitely could have done better, but it's a good combo. I cover his run out. I don't know why. I don't know what this ice step is supposed to be. So, okay, here. For 9, obviously 9's teleport dash is projectile invuln on frame 1. So this fireball setup is kind of fake, in air quotes, because she can just dash out. However, if she dashes out, then she is vulnerable to meaties, because she's only projectile invuln on frame 1. So instead of going for the teleport or putting out a lightning here, which is what I would normally do, I just do the meaty 2B. And it forces her, she blocks. I still have no idea what that ice gun is supposed to be. Probably a 3C. I get hit. What's this? I jump up trying to keep her jailed, but I fail. Okay, he pokes me out. I challenge her though. Even if you make her block, she loses the fairies. So I'm pretty incentivized to just be aggro. He's hitting a button. He actually blocks the side swap, so maybe cross the protection, and he matches me out of the 2B. That's way too crazy. She whiffs, and if you whiff and Kokono has 100 meter in your face, you're dead. Not a very clean game from either of us. Tommygun's kind of poking in the wrong directions, and I'm dropping shit. Okay. Okay. Good stuff from Tommygun here. He might want to just play a little bit more defensive and let his fairies actually set things up. Both times he's done fairy, I've just immediately hit him. I don't convert another 5A. She bursts. My 2B, which was intended to be meaty on her landing, goes in the wrong direction. I get hit. He does a good open. He gets the fire. He gets the storm. I try to jump out with wheel, and it fails. Maybe he's trying to jump out here. I'm not sure, but I get a full confirm. One more loop, and now we're gonna go into IAD cross up probably. He wake up immediately, but he jumps, so that's good. But then he hits the button on the way down. I drop the combo again. He blocked high. I noticed that Tommygun has started swapping spells a lot more often. It's looking good. I would have liked to say that was a burst bait, but he did not have burst, so I either dropped that or I just didn't realize that he didn't have burst at the time. So what's this hit? Okay. So he crosses over me, and then I just mashed with something faster, which probably means he hit something that wasn't for A, and then I get the JA. So that kind of tells me that Tommygun's really trying to mash buttons, but he's mashing buttons in cases where I have frame advantage. He should probably back off a little bit. Like, if he tries to play this game more long range, Kokono doesn't have great tools to contest her since she has so much disjoint, and you can just go through all my projectiles. Instead he's just kind of playing her like a gorilla. That 5C was good though. Alright, so he got me in the corner, and again, I just jump in and JA, and he's just not blocking, or he's just always hitting buttons. Trying to catch the jump out, we're gonna go for the cross up. We get it on the wheel. Alright, get the pulse confirmed. Yep. Put down the lightning, cover the... Nope, she just had quick text. That is not gonna go. Oh, it is. Wow. Did I have active flow during this combo? Yes, I had active flow, not quite at the end. No, we had active flow throughout the whole thing. I'm pretty certain that would not have killed if I didn't have active flow. If I'd done the right route, it would have killed without active flow. But, you know, as we've seen, my combos are not looking seriously great today. Oh, we get those. They're a little too high. So for this route, you can confirm JB into J2C, but if your opponent is too low to the ground, you don't quite get the right height spacing, it's awkward. I probably should have confirmed that into JB instead. Alright, so 9 bursts out, whips aerials, outspaces me. Good. Oh, but he outspaces himself even. And I hit him with a JC, get the full combo, get the confirm. Alright. Are we gonna go for a reset here, or we are? Put it out, go for the side swap. Nope, we try to seal this jump out. So, for this ice reset here, right here. So basically how this ice reset works is that they're stuck in the ice, and you can break them out of the ice with your 5A. You control when they tech out. And after that, you either are going to try to prevent them from jumping out, or you're going to mix them up somehow. You can 2B to break them out of the ice instead, which is kind of a mix, because it's low. And then it also prevents jump outs, because 2B2 will catch them as they try to jump. The alternative is that I break it with something like 5A, or I guess I could just do 2B into 22C before the second hit of 2B2, and that's a side swap. In this case, because it's the lightning that I'm threatening with, that I'm fighting against 9, I go for the 2B version in order to try to catch him from dashing out. However, I have not actually seen Tommygun dash out of any of my pressure this whole set so far, so really I should have just gone for a side swap, because he has not shown that he either knows or wants to. He must know. So I assume he just doesn't think it's worth the risk of getting meatied in order to dash out of my projectiles, which, I mean, I have been covering it, so it does make sense, but on the other hand, like, that's just kind of like completely removing your character's strength. So, I don't know, I don't think it's great. I feel like you should probably show it at least once, just so that I care about it more. So he blocks this, because I go for the low version. This OD confirm here, the hit is JB, J2C, and then OD, and you have to immediately go into another JB, J2C from OD in order to get the confirm. If there's any delay or anything, then you aren't going to get the right height spacing in order to get the confirm. So this is kind of an unfortunate situation where you have to just OD. It is probably technically possible to react to your own hit of J2C with whether or not you OD, but I don't think that's very realistic or consistent. So generally, if I'm going for this setup, I just always OD here, which isn't obviously great OD usage, but I'm way up. It's not really a risk. And if I do OD, at least I keep my turn. He probably... I like this little setup here. I don't think that wheel was intentional. But okay, so you're blocking the fireball, and then I jump right on top of you and wheel. Which direction is it going to come down on? Who knows? Not me. And he doesn't know either. He doesn't block it. He gets hit. Overall, this was a pretty straightforward game. Tommygun doesn't get a chance to run his game plan very often. There were a couple times where he got good knockdowns into the Firestorm. One of them did hit me because I tried to get out with wheel and just ended up being in the cloud, which is obviously bad. But then the other one, I just JA'd him out of his attempt to do rock, I think, following up, which is weird because you're in the air, so I'm already going to be blocking high, and I'm already blocking the storm, so there's not really any reason to rock. Then there were a couple other situations where he had fairies out, and I just, again, JA'd him and completely removed them. And then in neutral, he was seeming to be a little too eager to hit buttons, and I just kept winning because I had advantageous situations. Overall, I think he might want to try to figure out what exactly he wants to do after he puts out things like fairy. Because if you're putting out fairy and then your next move is something that just gets countered by your opponent hitting you, then that's not really a great game plan for you, especially with Fairy, because Fairy goes away even if you block. So you really need to keep control of your opponent when you're doing something like that. So I think Tommygun needs to like have a little bit more of a detailed game plan for his Oki situations, and maybe look again at like how he wants to move around at neutral and what ranges he wants to hit buttons from in neutral. Because Kokonoe should have a hard time in neutral versus 9 due to how she avoids all her traps and how she has much longer reach than Kokonoe. But it just didn't end up that way. So I win that game. That's cool. At this point, we're 2-1. We're in losers semifinals now. At this point, I have a bit of a break, but I know that my next game is against either Uri or Maigo, who were playing on stream at the time, which is obviously, you expect it's not going to be Uri. Maigo, I think I'd heard the name before, but I didn't know them. They are a Rachel player. And Rachel is a matchup that I think is really fun. It's hard. It's definitely hard. She has... The fact that she can control the wind and float her projectiles around means that she generally does win neutral against you because of how the potatoes that she shoots out can immediately break your fireballs. And she has way more control over the trajectory of her potatoes than you do over your fireballs. So it can be difficult, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Blocking her is kind of fun. So I enjoy this matchup, and I'm looking forward to it. I think playing Tommygun really chilled me out a little bit. I was feeling very calm and in control going into this game, which is very important because this is a matchup where you need to keep your head. He immediately backs off, making a wall with the potatoes, got a block, puts out George. This is the normal Rachel stuff, blocking. No clear hits from anyone yet, though. I'm trying to get in. Bunker is a great tool in this matchup because when Rachel shoots her projectile, it kind of has an initial arc to it. She might be able to immediately curve it downwards with wind, but that's a bit of a call-out. So at the right spacings, you can just bunker straight into her. And of course, if you get bunker on a counter hit, it's 3.8k meterless, so very nice. Alright. So what gets me hit here? Oh, air grab. Okay. Get to confirm. I'm not quite in the corner. I block the bat. I get out. Now this is a good thing for Kokonoe, which is that 3C will kill George. So even when George is out, it is not much of a shield for her. George actually gets pushed into the dead zone of 3C here, but unfortunately she pushes herself as well. So she just gets hit by the 3C, even though George was put into the exact best place he could be. So for Maigo and Rachel's in general, what you would want to do is push the wind forward and jump. Or like backdash at the same time, maybe. If this 3C had whiffed here, I would have eaten a George, and that would have been real bad. Instead though, I get 3C, and we get a side swap, put her back into the corner. Gonna do one more 3C, 2-2B. This is a situation that I would like to think a bit more about. When you can't quite get that last wall splat, you can do this 3C bunker hold. They will air tech, and you won't get the hard knockdown, but you do generally have time to put out a trap. But due to the fact that they're air teching, it's really hard to set up any kind of a consistent game plan here. But probably if I went to do like 2-2B, 6D, 2-2C, that would be some kind of a good side swap. But at any point in this, you could just mash me. I don't even think this lightning is safe. But most people are not going to immediately mash out of this weird air tech scenario. And they usually feel uncomfortable due to the bunker bomb on you. She bursts out. I get hit by the pillar. And she tries to get something back. I just block all this. Then you got more shit to block. I actually get lucky there, but she gets too high. I run out. She blocks low. I try to catch her out. This is the kind of stuff I like. We're just flying all over the place. We both got pretty good tools to catch each other. Wow, that was cool. Alright, finally I get a hit, but I don't confirm it. Alright, she's kind of getting far away from me. Yeah, I could have put a graviton behind her to go for a throw or something. But we do eventually get the hit, put her in the corner. I find out that she doesn't know to tech this, so I think this should just be dead. Yeah, I have 100 damage. This should be dead. Fireball. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, I get the wall spell. Cool. Alright, so overall I'm feeling pretty good about that. We had good neutral, but he's not really showing me anything especially scary so far. It's just kind of like solid, normal Rachel. Smash something out there. I'm gonna go for the hold bunker. That setup there, that is not an intentional purple. What happens with that hold bunker there is that if you tech, you will tech in place, and it's a restand. You can't roll or anything like that. So that throw that I did is timed such that if you tech normally, you will immediately get grabbed. However, conversely, if you don't tech, then you just get purpled, and there's nothing I can do about that. I could stagger the throw a little bit more to get around this, but I don't think it's really a bad thing to go for on the first time you show the mix-up. I get the 3C in the corner, he bursts out, suddenly he's in my face, I get hit low, that happens, I block George, still blocking, now I'm in the corner. Yep, generate that pressure. Yep. I could, I was about to say I could counter assault, and then it missed. So this is bad. Bats are on us, we get hit high. I do have a burst. Oh, he drops the combo. I actually wondered if he could have just killed me there. But he gets the round anyway. That counter assault, like, it's not a bad idea. I can't really say it was a mistake. I could have placed it a little bit better, though. Anyway, we're going in. JC misses. We do get the 3C hit, though, and I drop the combo. We go for a side swap at least, and we get it into the 6B. I definitely capitalize on that situation well. She gets out. I break the projectile, but it doesn't really do me any good. Alright, blocking. I kill the George, cancel it into bunker, but we're not close enough for a hit. I just put myself in the corner. Thankfully she ran away. I probably got hit out of putting Graviton out. Alright. George is still around. Okay, thankfully I get a hit. Clear George. Get the big air grab. That spacing is really fucking weird, so I just go for a basic bitch combo. I burst bait, and then I get fucked. The burst bait is fine. Grab as your layer 1 post that is not very smart, especially considering that she has OD and you know she's going to want to use it. I OD, and then I get... Oh, that's right. So, I'm going to OD here because I'm not going to get to burst. And then she goes just past me. Now, I'm expecting that you're going to block the super fireball, and then you're going to rapid, and then you're going to get fucked anyway. Because you're going to be blocking OD super fireball on OD graviton in the corner, but she actually crosses me up, or crosses herself up, in this case, and dies. So that's great for me. I don't think that I needed that to win, but it is nice. We both back up. Both play neutral. Suddenly she's in, but she doesn't confirm. I get a nice hit. Alright, going into the corner. What kind of route do I do? Yep, the kind where I drop it. That was really fucking weird. So, there must be a minimum activation range here, because just nothing happens, and she gets hit by the second one, which sucks for her, because she had, I mean, the right kind of call. I'm keeping her in, it's good. I should have gone back in there. Eventually she gets out. Miss an air barrier. Just run under it. Run under Rachel is one of your best tools a lot of the time. Because she has to commit to changing her trajectory. Alright, don't get a good confirm here. Whoa. I was definitely not expecting that to hit. I just wanted to kill George. In which case I should hit 5C instead of 3C. And again, as Rachel, you really need to be careful of the 3C. All of your moves are going to put you in a lot of recovery, and I could really punish you. That was good. Puts out George again, but I can just roll away. I try to kill George, I get hit for it, that's valid. Ooh, outspaced the 6A, very nice. But I can't get a full confirm, make her block everything. Alright, we get a 6B confirm, put her in the corner. Alright, she gets out. It's going all over the place. Okay. Oh! Okay, so she gets a real confirm here after I get hit by George after the teleport, I think. I no-tech and I get out. That's a really good answer for a lot of fucked corner situations. She jumps out of the grab. Oh, JV just whiffs. Block everything, block everything. I hate this situation. I get confirmed. Okay. It's kind of hard to say what I should have done there. You know, that's Rachel. When you're against Rachel and you have very low HP, it becomes very hard to actually do things. Oh! I get the very good hit. Doesn't confirm, but I get a nice TRM setup. They're just gonna wall spot here. If I see Q2B, go for the grab. She does not EA. I have no idea why, but I hardcore punish her with Wheel. Oh, but she bounces out a little bit. I wonder if that's win. Or if I just waited a little bit too long at 5C. That's too bad. I could have just, like, potentially killed her. I think this could be death. Oh my god. Wow. The one time... I think this is the only time in this whole tournament I've actually landed that combo, and it had to be that combo to kill her. Because I needed the extra damage from lightning, and I needed the OD confirm. If I hadn't hit the right route, I think she might have had a chance to burst out first, so that's great. Though, given my metrics on landing combos earlier in this tournament, I don't think it was very smart for me to go for that at all in the first place. But yeah, good set. A lot of weird neutral. Maigo seems like a solid Rachel, but nothing that they did was especially scary. From my play, clean up the combos again, like always. Yeah, pretty good. I felt very good about that game. And we're going to take a break. So, after the Maigo game, I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty confident. And then I saw that my next game was going to be to get out of pools, and that it was a rematch versus Crisuki, the Jin from my first round, which was pretty great to hear for me, because I didn't have too many issues in my first game, and I was playing even better. Well, even isn't saying much, but I'm playing better than I was at the beginning of the day. So going into this game, I'm feeling pretty good. So let's take a look. Backing up, playing a distance, jump in. It's kind of a weird option from him, that kind of a weird option from me, but I hit. We get... This is weird. I was looking back at this before, I have no idea why this whiffed. That's definitely how the combo is supposed to go. But whatever. Alright, we come in, I'm gonna grab, he techs it, and then he grabs me. Boop, boo, he drops the combo, go away. Ah, I'm definitely mashing 2A too. Push him into the lightning, hit him with the overhead, he still can't block it. Okay, probably was jumping out. He does the good thing, doesn't get hit by lightning. Ooh, I think that there is supposed to be a J2C here, and I was just too low to the ground for it to come out. I wonder if it causes landing recovery still. Okay. And this should be death. Okay, pretty straightforward game. No one really got, like, their turn too much, but it went pretty well for me overall. We have a good, we're doing good at keeping him out and then jumping back in once we have a tool, or once we have a gadget on him. He's not really contesting us too much. This should be a side swap. Okay. Turn off the graviton and get DP'd. Alright. Ooh. I thought that he would just go for a jump cancel here. You see me start to run, because I just want to run underneath him and get the fuck out. But no such luck. Anyway, now we're out. Get hit by the fireball. Get the air hit. There's no way I can confirm that. It's too far away, but yes, I do miss a dash there. Okay, we're going to hold. Nope, we go for the reset. Boom, boom. Wall splat. Oh. So, he had played me enough to know that there's normally a side swap here. And you see that Jin actually just starts walking forward because he's trying to block the side swap. He should really just jump, because that would be much safer. And you see us talking about that here. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Especially that round 2 went very much in my favor. He's not really challenging me enough at long range, and once I'm in on him, he's not really blocking very well, and he hasn't really showed me much scary offense, so not really too threatening here. Oh, okay. Ooh. That 5B hits so high. Generally, J2C is like the best option I have versus grounded moves. Okay, he gets the knockdown. I have to assume that was supposed to be the instant overhead again, but yeah. Okay, get the big 6C hit. I'm going to wall splat him. Maybe go for an ice reset? Yep. Okay, go for the 3 version. And there it is. So, I'll talk a little bit about this ice reset scenario. I know 2 ice resets, one of which is this IAD put out with the graviton, and you do the 6 graviton because it pulls them out of the corner, you immediately turn it off, and then you put down lightning and you do some kind of a mix. It's not quite as robust as the 4 graviton version, where you like hold it and then you push it and then you walk through them. Because you have to actually commit to the teleport in this instance in order to get the side swap. But it is still very good. And I think in most cases it's probably better just to use this one because it's more gravity efficient. Certainly if your opponents don't block this, there's no reason to go for the 4 graviton version or something more complicated. So I've been doing this one more recently and I like it. Alright, we get a big confirm. Am I going to get the right wall combo? Nope, I just make it easy. That's good. I go for another ice reset, and we get the overhead, but he blocks it. Actually, you can see that this is a little too far away. I wonder... I think it's because I'm so far away from the corner when I do this. I don't know if it was actually relevant, though. He just blocks it. We keep our turn. Wheels plus. You can't do anything after it. He bursts out. I would have had to EA in order to kill there, which I probably wouldn't have done, but I'm happy to get the burst. And then he probably just tries to jump out at the very end there. Ooh, 2D round start, okay. But he doesn't confirm. We're both jumping around. Don't quite get the 6C. 2A, whiffs. Okay. Both just kind of hitting buttons. And then finally I get a clean hit. Gonna take him to the corner. Gonna get the wall splat. to B, check for no tech, and then I catch him. Get the air hit, and then this is a really bad confirm. Oh, I'm going for an ice reset. Okay, that's better. All right, we go low this time because he blocked high the first time, and we get the big hit, and I've dropped that. Of course. Anyway, he lands. We get OD. We go for an OD route here. I actually don't think this is going to kill in time. Yep, that little grab here, this is supposed to be an EA, which would be the only way we could kill, but we run out of OD timer. Oh well, he's almost dead. The next hit will kill. And there it is. So, overall, pretty simple game, pretty straightforward. If Crisuki had a bit more knowledge on how to defend against Kokonoe, which isn't something I can really fault someone on, you do really have to have played Kokonoe before in order to know how to defend against her. It's definitely not clear what you're supposed to be doing. If he had a little bit more defensive knowledge, then I think he would have been able to have a closer match. But really his offense and his defense were just not quite strong enough in order to like really ever enforce his turn or get his win conditions going. So yeah, I get out of pools on this game, so that's pretty sweet. I've never made it out of pools before in a major before, so this is great. I'm feeling really good. I'm really pumped for the rest of the day. Top 24 starts the next morning at 10 a.m., which was a little rough. It was very early. I go play some casuals. I find a Hibiki, and then I look and I'm like, wait, my game's tomorrow at 10 a.m. is against a Hibiki named Deadward. I wonder if this is the same guy. Turns out it was. So he was not happy to see me the next morning after I won most of our casual games. So, into the next game. Hibiki is a pretty straightforward matchup. He has like some generic stuff you should know, like don't tech in the air, jump out of his shit. He's got a good anti-air, as you can see him stuffing my wheel here. That's the big one, is Izuna drop. I do tech in the air here, and I get punished for it. Though he also drops his combo, I think. Yeah, this is not how this normally looks. Okay. He gets the knockdown. Okay. So this cross-up jump that Hibiki does here, right here, is definitely not safe. However, he crouches, and my 5A whiffs on crouchers, so I miss the punish because I don't hit 2A. Oh well. Okay, I get the JB. We're going to take him to the corner. Yep, blow it up. Run. Okay, so now you're stuck in the corner. He blocks the lightning. I get in, rapid, and then I go back in with wheel. This is going to be a lot of damage. But I don't have enough meter to do an ice reset, so he gets another turn. Alright, counter assaults out. Graviton back out. And push him into this. The only thing versus Hibiki that you really have to worry about is he has a full screen super that jumps on you from above, and he can call out our Graviton and such placement with that. Otherwise, Hibiki's kind of at our mercy in neutral. That is a good tool, though, as you can see. Goes very far away. Yep, kind of annoying. Alright, and his stagger pressure, I saw this in casuals as well. His stagger pressure is not particularly strong. He gets pushed out too easily. I get the delayed grab. Alright. No techs. I should have just blown up the Graviton instead of hitting 2C. DP doesn't get punished. He doesn't get hit, though. He's still stuck in the corner. I go for the frame trap. I delay a little bit too much. He wins out. Burst him out of the corner. This is the super that I'm talking about. But it is so not safe. And I get the full confirm. Do I get the combo? No, I go for easy mode. He just runs out. That is a very valid answer. Most people don't do this, but you can just run out or backdash or jump if I go for the side swap variant. I don't tech there because I don't want to get RC'd into a Zuna drop. That would have been death if I had. And I get the challenge, but I don't get the confirm. Then I get the mash. A little shaky from me this round. He got some good pokes with the Shadow Clone. But I avoid losing due to the Izuna at the end. if I had landed a better combo off of that wheel instead of going for the easy mode, I probably could have made this a bit cleaner. But he had good defense running out. That was the right thing to do. But I take the game. Going into game 2, still feeling pretty good. He's not super scary. Yeah. Don't want to hit. This is a bit of an awkward situation because J2C, as I've talked about before, is kind of hard to confirm. You could hit JC, but the JC confirm costs 2 gravitons, and it doesn't do much damage, and it doesn't really give you good Oki. I go for the reset here with the 6B on top of the fireball. Then he bursts out. Ooh, this is not great for me here. Putting the graviton behind him, and then he just Izuna drops with the push towards me. Probably shouldn't detonate it if I already see him in the air. But no big confirm. I mash out again. We're going for the stagger. There's the overhead, and this should be death. Even if I don't do a fancy combo here, I can just blow it up. Boom, boom, boom. Ice. Yep, there it is. Easy. Deadward needs to be a bit more conservative in how he does his stagger pressure. He gets pushed out too easily, and it's just too easy to mash him. He doesn't seem to have like a great idea of what to do once you're in block stun. I get him with a good push here. It looked like he was probably jumping out. Overhead reset. Alright, and I get the confirm. We get the real combo. Gonna put out a fireball probably. Nope, I just dashed towards him. He delay techs. No idea what he was doing there. I'm just gonna blow this up. Oh, I go for the real route, and I get it. And it is totally not necessary. And there we go. Perfect on game 2. Very straightforward. This is a very easy game. So we'll move on to the next game, which is against a Susan named Shenanigans XX, which I had never heard of before. Unfortunately, in order to get here, he knocked out the Joker, who is another very good Kokonoe. So I talked to the Joker before, and he said that he was a very stable, patient, and good at blocking Susan, which is not really what I wanted to hear. I was a little concerned hearing that. In general, I'm pretty confident, or pretty used to the Susan matchup, at least. We have a local Susan. I've played a few online. But in general, the matchup is a little rough for Kokonoe because Susan has so much HP. Susan covers so much airspace with JA. His 6A makes it hard to place gadgets in neutral. My local Susan, really the way that I beat him is that he hangs himself on 6D, and I'm really good at blocking 6D. And an issue I'll have with Shenanigans is that he really doesn't leave himself open on his block strings, which is how I'm used to beating Susans. So as I'll find out, this is a little bit of a different fight than I was expecting. But this is a really good game. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so putting the graviton out. I'm going to push him towards me. The 3C doesn't quite connect. He jumps in. Block the overhead. Block, block. Dashes in. Okay, this here, he's going to be doing this the entire set. And this fuzzy JA, so it's 6B, and then IAD, JA land, and then it's JA jump. And this is really hard to block, especially because I don't know the circumstances under which he can do this. In this case, he does it after an IAD JA. I don't know if it has to be that. Can he just do this whenever? And this makes me really uncomfortable the whole set blocking him in the corner. His lows are pretty slow, so I could probably just block high and then block low. But yeah, this will hit me a few times. Thankfully, he doesn't get a full combo here. I try to mash out because he had to run back in, but I still get counter hit. Use wheel to get in. Put the graviton behind. He's still blocking. He's still blocking, so yes, the Joker was right. This guy does like to block, but he's only blocking low. I haven't actually tried high options yet, so I will probably start going to that next. I do actually get hit by the 6D there, but the rapid doesn't go into anything. Oof. Block the guard crush, and then mash him out afterwards. Are we going to go for the side swap? It looks like it. Alright, we get the side swap. Set up the fireball, we get DP'd. Okay, that's fine. Oh, okay. We blocked one of them. And yeah, as I said earlier, I should stop going for this kind of thing. If you can make them whiff the anti-air and then punish them with the wheel, it's good. But sometimes you just get anti-aired. I should just probably not do that in general. I almost get the confirm on the fireball, but the detonate is a little too late. Blocking lows, getting hit by low. Still no confirms. Alright, we're in the corner again. I'm thinking about that fuzzy. Blocking high, and then I get mashed because I don't know the frame data on that button. He gets a good confirm here. But he drops it at the end. Alright, and now I'm the one attacking. He counter assaults out. I do a quick rise. Alright, we get him with the full combo. What's it going to be here? I should go for an ice reset because I have a lot of meter. I don't. That was very strange. I was going for another side swap, but I just didn't react to the fact that I had a hit. But I get another hit, so we're good. Do another wall splat, do another fireball. He ODs, which is really not a good place to OD, because you're still going to block the fireball, and you can't EA me. I guess it does end my mix-up, though, at least. Okay, I think he's looking for counter-assault. Blocking decently well. And there it is again. Alright, so let's see. So how does this one happen? The 2C, the IAD, the JB, the JA, which hits, and then it's another immediate JA. So both times he's done this, it's been after IAD JA. I wonder if it's only after IAD JA. I would have felt a lot better if I'd realized this in the moment. I burst out. And I underestimate how fast Susan runs, and he just gets to me in time. A lot of situations like this, I'm so surprised that, like, they get past the fireball that I don't even think about teching the throw. I think if I tech the throw, he might have even gotten hit by the fireball. So that's not great. I'm not blocking super well, but I'm not blocking terribly. His fuzzy's making me a bit uncomfortable, but it's looking, like, pretty close. Definitely not just getting outclassed here. We get the J2C hit, and we put him in the corner. Gonna go for the wall splats. Put out the fireball. Is he gonna OD again? Nope, he just gets hit by the high. Alright, then he bursts. That's a good place to burst. I have to RC in order to burst bait. He has DP now. Ooh, it's a very far 5B hit, but he drops the confirm. 2C is a dumb button. Alright, re-roll back. He has always hit buttons there, so I don't think it was necessarily a bad DP place. I probably should have just taken the combo there instead of getting the reset. Push him in, get the 3C. No exclamation point, so he probably just tried to jump. Put the graviton out, he counter assaults. We challenge his jump in, but I don't RC it. We're not dead, but we're not doing great, and I forward roll, which is a very strange choice. Susan's got a big body, so it's hard to roll through him. Not a great decision on my part. I tech the air throw. Good job, past Nick. Push him forward. We're just jumping around, but his JC is so big that he gets us in. Now we're blocking in the corner. Ooh. Shoulder charge. No confirm. I don't think he even can. Alright. What just happened there? It's a shoulder charge. Boom, boom. Oh. So my JA whiffs. Maybe I start hitting another button, thinking that it would have at least gotten blocked. Not sure exactly. He misses a throw. I react. I get a confirm. We're going to go for a side swap. Push him back in. Ice reset. And then I fuck it up. But... Nope. Nope, we don't get anything. I just missed the second quarter circle there. Oh, that was really awkward. I should never do JC that high. J2C. Okay. Okay, pun it. Ah, yeah, there's nothing to be done there. Unless I went for like a guard crush confirm. Go for the tick throw. Get it. Confirm it. We're in the corner. I have like no gravitons though, so this is awkward. Okay. Okay, we get the guard crush confirmed. This is being very ballsy here, considering he was in EA with active flow, but okay. We get the full confirm. We still don't have enough meter or gravitons to do an ice reset, though. He counter assaults out. I go back in. We go for the side swap. I really shouldn't be doing this because I don't have the gravitons to do a full combo anyway. Now I'm feeling super uncomfortable because I have no meter, no gravitons. He fails the confirm. I do get, well, I mean, I would say I get a good overdrive, but I don't know why he doesn't just kill me. Like, yeah. So he drops his confirm, but I react well, and then this should be death. Yeah, that's death. So he drops his OD confirm and then doesn't react to it. I do react to it. I get the OD punish. We're still alive. Good stuff. Alright, backing up. He gets a JA hit. But he just whiffs, or he just blocks the Grand Viper. Alright, so in this case, I'm going to take the full confirm instead of the side swap because 5B is a very good starter damage-wise. We're going to go for the cross-up. Or we threaten the cross-up at least. Get another guard crush. These are working very well in this matchup. We're going to do a bunker hold, and he techs. Or he does not tech. Doesn't tech the purple either, though, so... We get the throw, get him in the corner, we get another throw. What do I do here? Okay, don't have to think about which combo to do because he just bursts. Push him away, I don't want you jumping in on me. But I also am afraid of 6A, so it's kind of weird. Push him into the lightning. Keep our turn. We're really using our gravitons. We only have 2 right now, so I'm just running away a little bit to try to burn time. Oh, wow. And something hits there. Not sure what he was doing to get hit by this 5C here. He's just mashing... Maybe he's mashing DP in blockstring and messes it up or something? I don't know. But he gets hit by the 5C, and we're into game 3. So that was much better. I think the biggest difference is just that he didn't get to run his offense in the corner as much as he did in game 1. Looking back at this now, I'm not really happy with how I'm using gravitons. I'm just burning through them like crazy. And you could see in game 2 that there was a couple corner situations where I had the opportunity to do ice resets, but I just did not have the gravitons to actually do them. And that weakened my offense a lot. So I need to be a bit more careful with how much gravitons I use in neutral. Okay. I probably could have OD'd for a confirm there, but I just take the stray hit. Keeping our distance. Trying not to get 6A'd. Keep the fireball on him, but I advance too quickly. So you can kind of like keep the fireball ahead of you as a shield. Which is what I'm trying to do here, and then I use another graviton, push it forward, but I jump ahead of it, and so I get hit. Get hit low, get hit high, but no confirms from either. Oh, maybe I was jumping? Ugh, 2C. Internally, I'm thinking, man, but I'm on the other side of you. But then the counterpoint to that is, well, Nick, why are you hitting JA on the other side of him? Though that one did actually cross. Like, I turned around at the end, so I think I could have hit him with that. Get him with another quick rise. Get the confirm. We do a real combo. Boom, boom, boom. Get him with the lightning. He tries to anti-air for some reason, even though I'm standing in front of him. And we go with the fireball. We try to go for the double cross-up. I think in this situation... So he gets reset by the fireball. If I had just blown up the graviton, it might have even confirmed into the lightning that I was already placing. And that could have been death. But this should... Nope, he bursts out. This is bad from my part, because I probably could have just killed him before he bursted. The kind of the issue is that, like, with Kokonoe, a lot of her stuff is really awkward. Like, there was a graviton out. If I had fireballed, it might have screwed it up. We're both just playing scared neutral here, because we can both die instantly. Oh, that's right. And I get my counter assault baited, but no punish. And I get it baited again. So let's look at this ending here. Blocking, I'm blocking. Okay. So I do a counter assault right after he lands. That's not very smart. Maybe I should have tried ODing instead. Clearly I was just panicking at this point, and not thinking very well. There were definitely better things I could have done defensively, but at least I'm using my meter, which I don't always do. Alright, space out the 6B, we get the 3C confirm, gonna put him in the corner, looking good. Wall splat 2-2B, fireball, probably gonna go for the side swap, yep. I get the hit, I get the jump over, which can be a little weird on Susan sometimes because he's so big. Now we're gonna go into 2-2B. That 5B was definitely supposed to be a 2-2B. Probably I just hit the B a little too early. But he doesn't get the full confirm. I block his guard crush. And he's going to go for the fuzzy. Yep, okay. So we have seen this fuzzy 3 times now, and every time it has been after IADJA. So I think it can only work in that scenario. You see me like getting hit low here after the 2C. I think that's because I'm used to him jump canceling it. But that's really something that he's more so doing in the corner. Yeah, and I have to burst. Yep. I think I'm not dead. He could have just supered and killed me. Gonna go to J2C. We get... That sucks. So, as I've said a few times so far, J2C is a little weird to confirm. You can just pick it up with 5A, but I'm a little bit too high. I could RC for a confirm, or I could Super Fireball for a confirm. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm low to the ground. I hit J2C. I can just hit 5A and pick up the combo. I'm not thinking about doing, like, the safest possible confirm. Looking back at it, I definitely should have just Super Fireballed. Because that totally works, and it leads into good Oki. And let's bring that back up. I have 100 meter as well. This is a very strange frame to pause on. So we're going to go look back at this last thing. I'm going to burst. He ODs. Doesn't kill me, thankfully. Do I just go straight for the IAD? Essentially, yes. And I just got... Yeah, so I have 100 meter. In this instance, I probably can't straight out kill because Susan has a lot of HP, but at the very least, we could go into an ice reset after this. And, you know, most people do not block ice resets at mid-screen. So if I just confirm that with Super Fireball, I think I win this round. So not the greatest decision-making from me. I can say that Shenanigan's offense and defense were both very good. I did get him with some side swaps, but I almost never hit him high. The only times that I really got like clean hits in neutral were when he tried to jump out from things. His offense especially is very good. He never hung himself with 6D. In fact, I think he only used 6D once and he immediately rapided it. And the fuzzies in the corner just made me very uncomfortable. I think hopefully I can try to remember in the future that fuzzy is a very specific timing and it's not something that I just need to always be afraid of. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good game. I definitely could have played better, but I also didn't play awfully. I didn't have nearly as many drops as I had on day one. I was mostly disappointed in this game, in losing this game, because the next game was winnable, and then if I had won both of these, I would have been in top 8. That would have been sick. But, you know, it's okay. I've never made it out of pools at a major before, and I tied for 13th out of 125 actual entrants, so that is very nice. I'm very happy with that. And yeah, hopefully we can do pretty well at the next tournament. Don't know exactly when the next major for me is going to be. I know that there is Texas Showdown in April, which I don't intend on going to, just because, I don't know, Texas is far, never been before. And then we have Combo Breaker getting announced, I believe. I think they put out a tweet, which is assumedly when they will announce the tournament date. But historically, it's been on Memorial Day, which is not a good time for me, so I probably won't go to that, but maybe. And then I know that we have CEO Taku in September, which is a definite. CEO Taku is a great tournament. You guys should all go to it. Very fun, anime game focused. Good time. Yeah, so that's all the games that we got for the tournament from me. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the video. I've never done commentary or live commentary like this before, so hopefully it went well, and let me know what feedback you guys have. I'm sure there's a lot of things I can improve.